A massive overnight Russian attack on Ukraine killed 3 people and injured at least 45 others across the country, among them 3 children, Ukrainian media reported on Saturday. According to Ukraine's Air Force, Russia launched 537 Shahid-type attack drones and decoys, as well as 8 ballistic missiles and 37 cruise missiles. 548 of the strikes were neutralized, the Ukrainian Air Force reported. In Zaporizhzhia, local authorities reported that the strikes caused power outages alongside damage to a 14 multi-story building and more than 40 private houses. The renewed attack came just 2 days after Russia launched a large-scale aerial attack on multiple Ukrainian cities, including Kyiv, the capital, killing 25 people. Meanwhile, Ukraine on Saturday claimed to have struck Russian oil refineries in the Krasnodar region and Samara region. A statement on the strike said it was carried out as part of reducing the offensive potential of Russian forces.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says that officials from Kyiv want to meet with his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump and European leaders next week to discuss ways to end Russia's more than 3-year full-scale invasion. The proposed meetings appear to be aimed at adding momentum to the push for peace, as Zelensky expressed frustration with what he called Russia's lack of constructive engagement in the process. Trump has recently expressed annoyance at Russian President Vladimir Putin's stalling on a U.S. proposal for direct peace talks with Zelensky. He also noted that he'll decide on next steps, which could include withdrawal of U.S. efforts within 2 weeks if direct talks aren't scheduled. Zelensky says Andriy Yermak, the head of Ukraine's presidential office, is expected to meet with Trump envoy Steve Witkoff in New York next week to discuss preparations. He's also renewed accusations of Putin's insincerity to the peace process, while reminding everyone that Ukraine has accepted a U.S. ceasefire proposal and direct talks with Moscow, both of which the Kremlin has raised objections to.
Israel wants to slow down or halt the entry of aid into northern Gaza. An official who spoke on condition of anonymity told the Associated Press. It comes as Israel escalated its offensive in Gaza City, which was announced earlier this month and drew international condemnation. According to several media, hospital authorities reported at least 50 Palestinians were killed in Israeli attacks on Saturday, including 26 in Gaza City. Ahead of the expanded offensive, Israel had called on Palestinians to flee down south of the Strip, a move that the Red Cross warned against. The head of the organization said in a statement that such an evacuation would trigger massive population movement that no area in the Gaza Strip can absorb, given the widespread destruction and extreme food and aid shortages. Aid groups have also warned that the large-scale evacuation would further worsen the dire humanitarian crisis. Earlier this month, famine was confirmed in part of Gaza for the first time by the world's leading authority on food crises, who warned it was likely to spread across the territory.
EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas says there is broad support among member states to expand the bloc's military training mission to operate inside Ukraine. Kallas made the remarks following a meeting of the bloc's defense ministers in Copenhagen. The move would serve as a possible security guarantee to Ukraine post-war in the event that a ceasefire with Russia is reached. The EU has trained across various sites in Europe around 80,000 Ukrainian soldiers under a mandate called the EU Military Assistance Mission in support of Ukraine since it was launched in November 2022. The change in the mandate of the mission would require unanimity among all member states. 24 EU countries, as well as Norway, would participate in the proposed adapted mission. The EU's top diplomat exposed a rift among members, however, with some favoring an extension of the mandate after a ceasefire is reached, while others would rather update the mission already so it can enter into force as soon as hostilities cease. European allies, led by France and the UK, are also working on establishing a reassurance force where some European troops would be deployed in no-contact areas as an added layer of security to Ukraine.